Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey.
And I'm Holly.
And this is the king of the full-size SUV hill. This is the 2021 Chevy Tahoe Z71. And in this video, we're going to give our opinions along with our 3-year-old son as to why this is the biggest and baddest SUV on the road and what it compares to. Hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time we post a new video. And if you want to see some behind the scenes of what we're driving before it's here on YouTube, go find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at GT Garage Talk. And everything we do, including our award-winning podcast, can be found at gtgaragetalk.com. All right, so we'll start off really quickly with the basics. This thing is motivated by Chevy's tried and true 5.3 liter V8, making 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that was co-developed with Ford, powering primarily the rear wheels, but in this one, 4-wheel drive trim, you can get 2 high, 4 low, and put it in 4 auto even to get you through some tough situations. All right, Holly. What were your impressions when I first brought this home?
It's big.
Yes.
It's big.
It's big. As with all large SUVs now, they just keep getting bigger. This actually grew quite a bit over the outgoing model from 2021. And you really feel it inside and maybe a little bit behind the wheel. Thoughts on the styling up front? You drive a off-road focused Trailhawk.
Yes.
This is Chevy's version of that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty. I like it.
It's rugged, it's blacked out, it's pretty.
It's pretty.
So,
yeah.
And you know it can go off-road because, you know, we've got the
that. Yeah,
red
I
tow
noticed
hooks.
those.
You know, your car's got the red tow hooks, this has got the red tow hooks.
Yeah,
so,
mine are a little bit more in your face than these.
Yeah.
Kind of are hidden a little bit.
These are actually covered in paint, whereas yours are like rhino lined. So
Yeah.
I actually approve of the Jeep one's just a little bit better. But a lot of plastic up here, including this panel right here, but you do have skid plates up underneath. So if I can actually hit the metal, yeah, there is a skid plate to protect everything off-road down there.
So you can take it off-road.
Oh yeah,
like a Jeep.
This is the proper off-road version for doing those kind of Jeep-like things, yes.
Okay, okay.
This is as equivalent to Jeep's Trailhawk line as you would get, because Z71 for Chevy people means off-road. With it, you get better, more off-roady tires, you get lifted suspension, you get the red tow hooks, you get skid plates underneath, and you get a 2-speed transfer case, which means you can put the power down when you need to get the power down to the wheels that need to get the power. There, I think we got it all. As far as inside, going back to its bigness, our son's inside playing right now, but show the good folks just how big. So you're 5 foot tall, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You probably had to get a good running start to get into this one, right?
Yeah. Well, it comes up to about my thigh.
So running boards would be nice.
Yeah,
But,
which you can option, right?
right.
Yeah.
For me, I think this is a perfect load-in height for our 3-year-old son. But for you, it might be a little bit of a problem. You do have multi-adjustable seats here, so they do slide forward and back, and they fold flat into the floor. You get lots of nice...
So this has got 3 rows.
Yes.
3 rows.
So with the 2021 model, they actually changed the rear suspension. Instead of having one long continuous axle in the back, they have independent rear suspension, which actually means there's more knee leg room in the 3rd row, plus they added length to the vehicle.
Wow.
This actually has a usable for adults 3rd row seat, which I can demonstrate on the other side because the child seat in this one does not allow you to fold that seat forward. All right, so mid-row seating. You get a nice grab handle right here, and you've got a lot of controls right here. One, to slide forward and back, and this one does travel quite a bit. And then you can actually recline it. So you do get quite a bit of usable real-world adult space back here. But yeah, I really want to spend more time up front. And then coming all the way back to the way back, talking about Chevy adding more space to the Tahoe and making it bigger. Not only did they add to rear seat legroom, but they added space behind the rear seat. So there's even more cargo storage space back here in the back. You can store underneath here in the floorboard, and you can actually, if I get this right, fold the third row seat flat down. This one, being a Z71, does not have a power fold third row, but higher trim models do. But
well, that was really easy to do anyway.
yeah, you just pull a latch. Part of that extra room back here means you're leaning in a little bit further, but makes it really easy to
It wasn't like
get
that
into
other
the
car we had. I could
Right.
reach this like really easily.
Right. So, interesting note about this one, they do have USB ports in the front, middle, and rear, but they've leaned really heavy into the new USB ports. So if you're not up to date with the latest tech, you're going to have to be for the new Tahoe. But that is about enough for the exterior walk around. And why don't we hop in, take a quick tour around Tyler, and see what you think about driving this ginormous beast.
Boat?
Yes, it is a boat.
Okay.
All right, Holly, setting off in the 2021 king of the full-size SUVs in the Chevy Tahoe. This one is the Z71 off-road equipped, trimmed, packaged. I don't know how you want to call it. This is the off-road one.
The off-road one.
Yes. What are your general impressions so far? You've spent a little time behind the wheel.
I like it. I like the way it drives. It, you know, it doesn't feel like it takes a long time to get up and go. So,
as I mentioned earlier, this has Chevy's 5.3 liter V8 under the hood, making 355 horsepower, 383, I believe, pound-feet of torque. So yeah, this thing will move, even though it's massive and heavy and massive, which I do believe will be the theme, the grandness, the bigness, the hugeness of this vehicle, I believe will be a theme throughout as we talk more about this rig going forward. You drive a compact SUV daily in a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. So this is a little bit of a departure for you, but you feel comfortable and confident behind the wheel?
I do until I look behind me
and realize how much.
And I'm like, this is a huge vehicle. But I mean, that would just take like getting used to, right? I like it being bigger than what we already have because I love the Jeep Trailhawk, but that is the one thing.
It's just
from the beginning, it's
compact.
just a little smaller.
Yeah. So yeah, being that this is a full-size rig, it is built off Chevy's full-size truck platform. It is a truck through and through. You and I recently tested a Ford Maverick, which is a car-based truck that everybody likes to complain, is it a truck, is it not a truck? This very much is a truck as it is built and rides a little bit like one. It's a little bit of a firmer ride, but modern trucks now are getting so good, right?
Yeah, I would say this feels like driving a truck much more than the Maverick did.
Right.
But saying that, it's not a rough ride or anything like that.
No, it is very smooth and confident. It kind of feels almost like you're piloting a big ship through the sea of the city, does it not?
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Or bus.
Yeah, a bus. Because let's face it, so you mentioned how far back it goes. There are 3 rows. Chevy did add tons more legroom, especially to that third row of seats back there. And there's just a massive amount of space back there. In fact, Tucker, can you hear me back there? Tucker, oh, there he is, way back there in the middle row. This thing is just a giant cave in here. There is plenty of room, and one thing I've noted is just how cool the air conditioning gets this in here. It's actually quite comfortable. So this has dual zone up front and a third zone for the rear passengers, and it feels nice and cool back there for Tucker with air vents up in the ceiling, so he's actually getting air down on him, which is good for parents.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we've been in a hot Texas summer and wondering if Tucker's actually getting air conditioning back there in the back seat. So are you comfortable, Tucker?
Yeah.
Yep. It feels good back there?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Do you like this car?
Yeah. What's your favorite part about this car?
I don't know.
You don't know? What about the red outside?
Yeah.
You like the red outside? All right, so going back to the hugeness of it and the visibility of it, how is it seeing out of this big vehicle?
So the visibility is pretty good. I would just say the only thing that makes me nervous is having the car seat right there and that tiny little window at the very back on the sides. I would still want to like look over my shoulders, which I guess is a good thing to do anyway. But the rear view mirrors are really big, really nice.
So yeah, if you can't see it in the rear view mirror, you've got it pointed in the wrong direction, because these are fairly large rear view mirrors for this big rig and help you really see out and around you. The C-pillar in this, which is behind Tucker's window, that C-pillar is really large, which kind of plays to your point about how small that back window really is.
Yeah.
If they could tighten up that C-pillar just a little bit and get you some more visibility back there, that would help immensely. But we've got this large panoramic roof to let light in, which is a new feature for 2021. Chevy has brought their A game with glass in the roof of this vehicle, and it shows, which helps because bringing it down here, in this one, there's a lot of black inside. So I feel like having that roof open really helps keep this from being too dark and too cave-like in here. So yeah, it definitely brightens it up. But when you look at it, there are, soft touch materials up here. The dash is soft touch. This is soft touch. You've got faux stitching, faux wood up here. You've got this nice little padded place to rest your hand as you're operating this massive 10.25 inch touchscreen up here, which has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both wired and wireless, which is good. You've got a wireless charger down here. So a lot of good technology up here. You've got your AC controls. Like I said, it's dual zone, so you can control it here. You can even control the rear seat air conditioning through the screen as well. I'm going to actually show the Chevy interface of the infotainment system. But there, go back to Apple CarPlay. It's really nice, good size, allows you to see a lot on it, and it's also the home of your rear view camera, which in this one does have trajectory lines that show you where you're going to end up as you're backing up. Moving over closer towards you, the gear selector has been a controversial change for General Motors here lately. What has been your thought of the push button, pull up method of selecting drive modes in this?
Well, if this is the way that it's going to be, I do like the different
actions
that you have to take, because, like, your toddler's not going to press the drive button very easily.
Right. So the way General Motors sees it is, if it is going to use engine power to move the vehicle, you're going to actually have to pull it up instead of accidentally bumping it. So just a little bit of a safety measure baked in there. And then push button start on this one. You've got analog gauges across the board, a nice little 6-inch color screen that has various bits of driver information on there, including our outside temp, which I see is a nice, cool for January, 63 degrees here in East Texas. It's actually quite a wonderful day today. The seats, what do you think of seat comfort?
I like the seats.
You've got 2-person memory over there, which
I do.
We desperately need in our next vehicle because we tend to drive in various...
I think that's one of those things that you're like, I don't need that until you try it out, and then you're like, definitely we need that.
Yep. I would put ventilated seats on that list for us as well.
Yeah.
Because this
especially like the heated ones and the heated steering wheel, because my hands always get like really cold.
So this has 2-way heated seats, so you can heat the seat and the backrest, or just the backrest, with 3 modes in which you can do it. So 3 intensity levels.
How
so
fancy!
Very comfortable there. I already touched on the tri-zone air conditioning. Lots of storage space up here. You've got wireless charging here. You've got USB-A and USB-C plugs up here. 2 cup holders. This massive cave of a center console with a USB-A and a USB-C in there.
In this little compartment.
Yeah, this little. I'm still trying to figure out what would go in there, but like I can fit my whole hand in there, which is like it goes back a ways, but maybe some Kleenex, some chapstick. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, I like that it has a little door.
Yeah. Then you've got 3-level storage on the doors here and center storage here on the center console as well. You've got a decent sized glove box out front. Pretty good storage. Decent mid-row legroom and decent rear seat legroom as well. They've really stretched the wheelbase and the interior space on these vehicles for more people and more stuff.
Yeah.
So we mentioned in the intro that this has been the long-reigning king of full-size SUVs, and companies like Ford and Stellantis, Jeep are not sitting by just okay with the fact that Chevy has run away with the sales crown for so long in this segment. So there are many competitors to this and more coming. So the main rival would be the Ford Expedition. We actually tested the Suburban variant of that in the Expedition Max. So you can check that video up in the top corner. A lot of people wanting to get into the full-size SUV game.
It's popular.
Yep.
I mean, and I can see why, because, you know, especially if you have a family, it's got a lot of space to keep things. I like all these little cubbies.
Yep.
You know, it's like a purse. You got to choose a purse that's got a lot of cubbies because you got a lot of stuff. You got to choose a car that's got a lot of cubbies.
And then in this vehicle, as it sits, we get 2 up front, 3 in the middle, and 3 way back there in the back. So 8-person seating configurability. And now we are turning on the brick streets of East Texas for a little bit of a rough road comparison. See how this does. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being just beat you up and 10 being buttery
Mini
smooth.
Cooper style.
Yeah, 10 being buttery smooth. What would you rank this Z71 off-road focused Tahoe on these brick streets in downtown Tyler?
I'd say probably, what do you think? Like a 4?
I was going to go probably around a 5.
4 or 5, yeah.
These streets will beat you up. They will shake you to death going over these railroad tracks. We are in a truck-based platform, so it is going to be on the rougher side. But the fact that you and I are in the middle of that scale just shows you how good that the ride is and has come on full-size vehicles like this. It does ride like a truck. We're kind of lumbering over some stuff.
Yeah.
But that just comes with its big nature. Because I don't know if you've heard, this thing's big. So what do you think, Holly? Could something like this fit into our life and our lifestyle, even if it doesn't fit into our tiny 2-door garage?
Definitely. I think I could definitely see us with something, because we like our Jeep Trailhawk right now, but I would say our 2 complaints, the
memory seats or lack thereof,
and the size is, I mean, pretty much if we're going on a long road trip it fits us and our stuff.
Yep.
And not a lot of room. I mean, even for our little 4-pound Chihuahua, it's in her stuff, it's hard to fit that in here. So that is one thing that is nice about this, and that I thought would be the most beneficial is like taking it on a road trip. We would feel very comfortable. We'd be able to bring all of our stuff, including snacks and...
Yeah, one of the benefits of this is you don't really have to pick and choose what you're bringing with you. If you think you might want it or need it, bring it, because this has got the room for it.
Which is always the case with kids.
Right. You never know what you're going to need. Right, Tucker? Yeah.
What's the miles per gallon?
So fuel economy on this, you mentioned road trips. This would be a very good road trip mobile because you get it up to speed, and it is a perfectly acceptable highway cruiser. And the fuel economy on this is 20 city, 26 highway, somewhere in that range, which, believe it or not, is quite comparable to, again, I keep bringing up that Maverick we recently tested. It had a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, half the size of this, and gets about the same fuel economy in that. So says a lot for what the General Motors engineers were able to do with this. And part of the reason this gets those fuel economy numbers is this does have engine start-stop. When you get to a full stop in traffic, the engine cuts off. How has that been for you?
I haven't hardly even noticed it. Just like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. So part of the benefits of this being a big vehicle is it kind of helps hide the fact that the engine is cutting off and back on.
Yeah.
It's pretty responsive, pretty quick, doesn't leave you stalling, waiting for the engine to come back on.
Like you said, once it starts going, it gets up and goes. A couple of times I've looked down at the speed limit and I'm like, oh, I'm going a little too fast. How did that happen?
It's that 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque just moving you down the road.
Moving me down the road.
Well, there you have it. We could very well use one of these in our lives. We could probably camp in it if we had to. But this was graciously loaned to us for the afternoon by our friends at Mercedes-Benz of Tyler. If you want to check out a previously loved 2021 Chevy Tahoe, hit them up with the link down in the description below. If you liked this video and liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up and let us know that you liked it. And if you want to check out more from us, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every time a vehicle drops from us. If you want to check out some more behind the scenes stuff before it is here on YouTube, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at GT Garage Talk. And everything we do, including our award-winning podcast, can be found at gtgaragetalk.com. But until next time, bye.
Yeah. Are we sure this is on? It's blinking red.
Well, that's recording, but the mic, you can slide it out.
Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay.